All right, welcome back everyone. Just to be clear, I have no emotions. Hindi ako masaya, hindi ako bias. I totally have no emotions whatsoever with what's happening right now, which is, oh my goodness, this is it. Is this the trial of the century? And is Rodrigo Duterte basically going to spend the rest of his life in trial or in some sort of a first world Hague, Den Haag prison? Pag-usapan natin yan with our very special guest. Ayan na naman tayo. May nagsabi lang sa akin, Richard, tama na, huwag ka na magbardagan, magpakabait ka na. Sa kahapon, lahat inaway ko na. Malutikia, Popoy de Vera, lahat, Clarita Carlos, tapos, sabi ko, magpakabait na nga ako. Kaya ngayon, interview natin ang pinakamabait natin guest after Sir Ronald Llamas, si Senator Antonio Trillanes, who of course is also running as Mayor of Caloocan City. Sir Sunny, you don't seem to be happy. Bakit? Parang malungkot ka, Sir Sunny.
Good evening, Richard, and thanks for inviting me again dito sa podcast mo. So ano lang tayo? Wala naman tayong emotion din. There's no reason to be joyful and
Nothing,
ecstatic.
nothing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it kasi matagal na tayo pinagtatawanan. Ako, pinapa-tricom na ako kasi fake news daw kami ni Justice Carpio dahil sabi namin last year pa yan. Ikaw, kung ano-anong thrilling bang tawag sa'yo, Sir Trillanes, kung ano. But here we are. The moment of truth is here. I know you're a very well-informed man. I'm sorry to say it that way, but we're still surprised by how efficiently, essentially, Duterte was whisked away and not allowed to play his games. Basically, TRO, Supreme Court, drama, people power, go to Davao, I don't know, maghari-kiri, whatever. Tapos, wala. Kagad, Villamor base, and then you go. Although, I want to ask, a couple of top-level officials were asking me, parang may konting delay din nung flight. Parang they were expecting it a little bit early, kaya medyo nervous yung ibang tao. To the degree that Senator Trillanes, you can share to us, can you tell us? I'll ask General Torres separately in another show on the operational circumstances. But from your understanding, Senator.
Okay. Una muna is itong sa bakit na delay, no, yung
Nakamute kaya to, sir. Excited yata mo siya. Yan, yan kasi, sabi
Okay.
mo, hindi ka excited. Ayan.
So
Yes, yes, Senator, you were saying.
okay, una muna, was I able to greet you? Nag-greet na kita, di ba? Oo. Nakuha naman yung first part na yan, di ba? Richard? Yeah. Okay. So,
Boss Sonny, sorry, I just came from gym. Apparently, it's in my AirPod. Okay. Yes, sir. Masyado tayong excited. Yes, please go ahead, Senator
okay.
Trillanes.
Okay. So, anyway, regarding the delay dun sa take-off, from what ang kwan daw dito is kasi short notice yung pag-charter ng flight, and normally daw yung pagkuha mo ng mga clearances dun sa overflight, ano yan, it will take earliest 3 days, then a week. So ito talagang na-rush yung pagkuha ng clearances, and it took that long. Hindi naman, sabi nga nila, hindi daw yan parang Grab na ibubook mo then off you go. Hindi, it's not that easy. So in this case, kung pupunta ka ng Hague, maraming dadaanan na bansa. So you will have to get clearances for each of those countries. And yun ang nangyari na delay. Pero yung sinasabi mo do sa first part of your question regarding the efficiency of
Yes, seamlessness.
the arrest. Okay. Again, from what I gathered, ano lang ito, parang a series of fortunate events. Ano? Parang ano lang maraming luck played a big role, and ultimately sabi ko nga ano na to, divine providence na to. It had to happen that way. And
Stars have to align.
ano
Stars have to align. Can you clarify that,
Yes, the
Senator? Is it because we were expecting that he would stay in Hong Kong? I mean, did China leak this to him? I mean, what went on? I mean, okay, first of all, so he was in Hong Kong. He had an option not to come back, right? He had an escape route, or
okay.
maybe he didn't. Well, what do we know about the
Mm.
China angle?
So, remember, Richard, nung dinidiscuss natin yung various scenarios, ang sinasabi natin, ang go-to move ni Duterte, ang kanyang contingency plan or plan A niya is to flee to Hong Kong. He did that before, nung June 2023, when he thought yung dismissal ng kanyang appeal sa appeals chamber ng ICC would come with a warrant for him. So when they were informed, they were given a heads up on the imminent release of the denial of his appeal, they fled to Hong Kong. Okay, ganun yung move niya. Ngayon, nung naririnig niya na the warrant was about to be released, was about to be issued, lumipad ulit siya sa Hong Kong. Ngayon, over the weekend, nakiramdam sila. Nakiramdam sila kung meron ba talagang warrant o wala. So wala silang nakukuhang confirmation, and they decided, I believe, ang nangyari dito, while ang plano is to seek asylum sa Hong Kong, pero mukhang base doon sa mga information namin, ano siya, nabore siya doon, nalungkot siya, hindi siya makatulog doon, parang the weather is not ideal for him, the food, hindi niya kumbaga, he did not see himself living there for the rest of his life, or at least habang nakaupo ang unfriendly administration. So with that, ang decision nila is unahan nila yung warrant. So nung tinitignan nila na parang wala naman, naniniwala sila diyan kina Panelo, sinasabi fake news yung warrant, kila Harry Roque,
Yari!
wala daw warrant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, naniwala sila sa sarili nilang fake news. Di they assumed walang warrant. And ngayon, actually yung flight nila is supposed to be hapon. Ngayon, one smart guy within his group said, kung ipupush through nila yung hapon, baka lumabas yung warrant during the day, in the morning, lalo sila maiipit. So, they moved it dun sa umaga, pero they kept the afternoon flight parang as a decoy para doon pumunta. Then, umaga sila lilipad, and there was a private jet waiting to take them to Davao. Para pagdating doon, kumbaga nag-decide na lang si Digong na ayaw niya na mag-asylum. Uwi na lang siya, tapos last stand na lang sila ng Davao. So, nag-ano sila. Akala niya maunahan niya yung warrant, kaya minove niya nung morning, not knowing na meron lumabas nung early morning. At yun na nga, naging the worst place na mahuhuli ka is doon, kasi talagang wala siyang isolated talaga siya doon. And ayun, a series of fortunate events, pero behind the scenes marami pa ring mga mga glitches, tsaka pero naman na overcome naman, at eventually na turnover na siya.
So, was this hubris? Was this Colambong? Ano daw sabi ni Sir Ronald, yung na-miss daw niya yung
Colombo,
tinutulugan niya
the
or
mosquito net.
something? Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
hubris.
hubris
Hubris is
talaga.
one kasi pero iniisip niya, he actually thought that there was no warrant issued yet, kasi yun ang inassure sa kanya ng mga moles niya sa Marcos administration, yung kanilang mga connection sa mga different agencies. Yun ang sinasabi. Nobody had a copy of the warrant. So, and probably they assume na kung meron man silang red notice sa Interpol, kung mag-pass sila ng immigration sa Hong Kong, mafa-flag na kagad sila. Then they can now seek for asylum. So, kumbaga nasa Hong Kong sila. Ngayon, kung makalusot sila doon, pwede pala. Ngayon, ito, meron palang sa Interpol, meron pala yung ano lang, yung parang sealed siya, hindi yung general publication, general posting na all
Yung press
computers
release. Oh.
yes, yung no no no, pagka sa
Yung
Interpol,
bulletin, yung sa bulletin, yeah.
yan yung bulletin, yung
Yeah.
everyone, every terminal
Yeah.
will have it. Ito meron yung selective, yung one country lang na para kung gusto mong ma-isolate, mahuli, yung specific country lang yung bibigyan mo. So they were looking at the website na wala, not knowing na merong ganon na sealed kaya hindi nila nakita. So anyway, oo, kaya lumabas. Kaya it was never posted sa iba't ibang, it was never posted publicly kasi doon lang mismo sa terminal sa Krame binigay. Kaya yun ang naging ano. Tapos yun nga, yung hubris na, sige na, tingnan natin kung kaya siyang huliin. Tama, kung natuloy siya sa Davao, mahirapat siyang huliin, pero hindi na siya umabot ng Davao, doon pa lang sa
He had an
plane pa lang
option
siya
to
inuwi.
fly like Cebu, Davao, parang ganon. Hong Kong, Cebu, Davao, parang ganon yung alternative. Hindi na dadaan sa Manila.
Walang flight. Walang flight na direct to Davao and ano. Ngayon they considered flying via private jet.
Right.
Kaso the clearances again would take them an
Days.
additional
Yeah.
2 to 3 days. So kaya ano na lang na tipong mas maaga yun na lang the first trip out ginawa nila.
I want to tease out this more, Senator Trillanes, kasi a lot of our friends are still playing into that. Maybe in the end, it was really about China making me feel you're not worth it. Like, and then he realized hindi siya sineseryoso ng China as much as he thought. And maybe that may have also, kasi parang siguro inisip niya super VIP siya dyan, protektahan siya. And somewhere wondering with MSS or their intelligence operatives here try to also leak any information, yung sinasabi mo na lumabas lang dito sa bulletin ng on our part, hindi sa China or ibang, kasi Interpol, di ba? International yan. Um, but your hunch, Son, is that ultimately China felt Duterte was not worth it, right? I mean, they made a statement about don't politicize, blah blah blah. Parang ano na yan, ano lang parang tick the box na lang, no? Parang mema lang.
Ako naman I don't think sinuka siya ng China kasi alam nyo the way China treats yung mga friends of
Still friends, yeah,
the
friends of China.
yung friends of China yung nagbigay sa kanila ng special favor at some iba yon. They hold that thing dear to them,
The honors.
kumbaga sacred sa kanila yon. In the case ni Duterte, ang daming na benefit nung China. Duterte made a lot of things possible for China. Marami siyang binigay na pabor, maraming kumita diyan, lahat-lahat. So hindi yun siya isusuka ng ganun kasi otherwise titignan nila ng mga ibang potential leaders na gustong makipag establish ng relationship with China teka, iniiwan nyo yung mga aliado nyo eh. So I don't think that was the case. It was incidental and based on sa information namin talagang Duterte just couldn't see himself staying there for the rest of his life.
So why did
Hindi
he go
siya
to Hong Kong then?
hindi siya makatulog.
So why did he go to Hong Kong? Was it because there was a whiff of an ICCRS and then he went there to feel things out, or it was just
Ano yan?
hmm,
Sabi ko nga, yan yung kanilang contingency plan. Kasi the coward in him automatically flees eh. So this man, si Duterte, at 80 years old, was never made accountable for his actions. Growing up, marami siyang ginawang kalokohan, hindi siya na-kick out, lahat ina-arbor siya, ganun. Kumbaga, kaya wala
Selfish siya
siyang
eh. Yeah.
ano, oo, yung attitude niya towards authority ganun-ganun na lang. Kaya nung wala na siyang power, ito na, medyo napaparanoid siya dyan. So the coward in him prevailed and yun nga, lumipad siya kaagad. Kaso yun nga, at 80 years old ba si Duterte, parang
Yes,
hindi
exactly.
niya na nakita, parang he's too old uh, for an asylum, in
Sir,
Hong Kong.
Sir
Parang
San,
ganun.
so you're saying essentially over like a 2, 3 year day period, parang the two sides of his nature clash. The coward in him and the like
Yes.
para parang reckless arrogance and hubris in him and doon siya nadali. Like if sana
Yun.
nag-stick lang siya to one of his
Doon
instincts,
naman dali.
diretso lang, di sana. I mean, if he didn't leave,
Oo.
right, stayed lang in Davao through and through and then made this last stand, may chance
Yeah.
siya. If duwag lang siya, then went to Hong Kong and stayed, may chance siya.
Yes.
But hindi. Nagduwag siya, and then
Mm.
nagkupal siya. Like, ayun tuloy, nadali siya. But, are
Yun.
you still surprised? Yeah, please.
Precisely kasi ang nakita naman niya kasi yung nangyari din kay Kibuloy. Paano na shakedown. So yun yung that's why ang sabi tuwing nakakakita raw ng mga checkpoints sa Davao, yung ghost of his past is haunting him kasi ganun sila, 'di ba? When may tutumba sila, talagang nagche-checkpoint. So nung nawala na sila ng control sa Davao City Police for the first time in so many decades, nawala na siya ng control sa police, kaya very yung movement niya, and he saw for himself how Duterte was flushed out of his stronghold. So sa kanya feeling niya doon sa bahay niya, ang dali-dali niyang doon, ma CQB ka nga, pero kaya ang ginawa niya, lipad muna, assess muna tayo, tignan natin, di ba? Para to buy him some time. Kaso yung mga informants niya, mga moles niya, wrongly assumed that there was no warrant.
Wait.
Di
Or,
ba?
maybe this is the Russian in me. Sorry, I always have Assad in mind, diba? Parang, Assad is basically useless to Russia, right? But, well, he brought some money. But a part of me was always thinking, well, if Putin throws Assad under the bus, that has bad implication for its other alliances, right? The other despots and allies they have. So actually, I agree with you. If you're China also, maybe even if Duterte is a bit alanganin na, you don't want to set a precedence that turns off other potential future leaders. I agree with that. But speaking of
Yes.
situation, I don't like many things had to work. Talagang the stars align talaga, no? Sunny.
Starsel.
The stars align exactly.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, is it also possible that he was infiltrated? Sorry, I've been a bit too KGB. That perhaps there was false information being spread within his ranks that may moles pala siya. Is that possible? Without confirming.
May moles from both sides. Kasi remember, maraming mga politiko na may dual alliances. Kaibigan si Duterte, and yet kaibigan din nila si President Marcos. Kumbaga, may ganon sila that they can play both sides anytime. So ang problema, yung mga moles ni Duterte sa Marcos administration, wala talagang nakuhang hard copy ng warrant. Kasi ina-assume nila if there was such a warrant, they should have seen it by now. So that was the wrong assumption. Di ba? Tapos yung kanilang hubris, itong sila Harry Roque, sila Panelo, fake news yan, wala yan. Ganon, ganon. So alam mo yon, yung they brush it off dahil sa kayabangan nila, ganon. Then,
Bravado,
ito
the
yung
bravado.
ultimate bravado. Then yung ultimate bravado, and for that matter, more than bravado, it's underestimating
DBM, yeah.
the resolve of the Marcos administration, na they won't dare, parang they won't dare arrest me. Parang they will just bully their way into their crowd, tapos sige, challenge you to arrest me, parang ganon. Kaso, ano nga eh, talagang, ano na eh, God's hand na ito, sabi ko na. You cannot attribute it to anything else kasi nobody would have predicted that he would
Interesting.
change his mind and just come back. And nobody would have predicted that he would change his flight to the morning flight. Kasi kung afternoon flight siya, for sure magli-leak na yung ano, Interpol red notice. Um, at makakarating na sa kanila, hindi na siya talaga tutuloy. Pero nobody got a hard copy nung morning. Because they had to leave Hong Kong early morning. Hmm.
Yeah, grabe, no? So many things had to fall into place for this to happen. But the more I talk to you, son, the more is actually this. Ako, on the record now, kami ni Ed Lingaw, we had a debate with si Ronald, no? Sabi ko, babalik yan si Digong. I just don't see him committing political suicide. Kasi if he stayed in Hong Kong, imagine how bad it would look. Like, basically, nasa China siya, which is the most hated country in the Philippines na external power. And then from there, ano yung authority niya, di ba? And then expose pa rin yung family niya. Parang, if you're him, might as well just, take your chances. And if historically you feel you got away with it and you've been getting away with saying everything crazy over the past 2, 3 years, I kind of get it. But let's not forget, no, Sonny, and I think this will be relevant. Remember yung mga replacement naman ginawa nilang ng 2022 elections and then purong sumablay-sablay yung nag-VP si ganon, tapos nag-Senate siya. Remember, they tried to replicate yung surprise element nila, tapos sobrang sablay, yung si Bato nag-register, and then si Sara. In the end, BBM just came in and ate their lunch, right? So feeling ko, we already
Yeah.
saw signs of that na medyo talagang, actually, they're not as sharp as we think. And they haven't also realized that actually they're a little bit behind the curve na. But what you're saying is that they also believe their own BS, basically, no? They're all, this
Yes.
whole weak leader, kuting yan si BBM,
Uh,
conflict avoidance yan si BBM. In the end, they bought their own BS, right? That's the number one mistake in politics, to buy your own BS.
yes, I agree, ano. Pero yung sinasabing alam niya na yung may warrant tapos pumasok pa rin siya. Ano naman 'yon? That's BS kasi when they were planning, meron din silang mga contingencies in place eh. Ando doon na nga yung private jet papuntang Davao, ando doon yung mga entourage nila Bongo waiting sa ano, parang sasaluhin na sila. Parang they had their own contingency plans. Pero sabi mo nga na uuwi yan, bad luck yung if he would stay there, hindi niya consideration yun actually. Yung bad luck siya sa China na pagka-asylum, ang talagang lumabas is hindi lang siya makatulog, parang
Comfort zone.
namamahay siya, hindi siya
Comfort.
oh,
He
hindi
told
siya
na, ano siya, yeah.
oh. Tapos he's surrounded by yung mga MSS, ano, yung mga Chinese
Yeah,
security
those guards,
people.
yeah,
So
yeah.
oh, he felt unsafe. He felt paranoid. Kumbaga, he didn't feel at home. That's the bottom line. Tapos, kasi kung ano diyan, knowing what happened to him now, would you think he would do it again? No, he would take that asylum any day than what happened to him now. So, yun. Kaya masasabi natin, talagang caught off guard sila because of wrong information. The malls, their malls fed them wrong information. Yeah, their bravado, their hubris, uh, kumbaga bolstered their decision to come back and kumbaga try to outrun the issuance of the warrant. Tapos mag-stronghold sila sa Davao. Kumbaga, yung character flaws nila did them in eventually.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it caught up with them. I think that's basically it. Lahat ng mga ano,
Yeah.
it caught up with them. The hubris, the folly. I mean, seriously, Panelo is the
Mm.
best you can do. Harry Roque is the best you can do. I'm not sure. I mean, para mas magulo pang buhok ni Harry Roque kaysa sa akin ngayon eh. Pag nagano na siya. Like sobrang ano, JV yung team niya, 'di ba? Like parang it's such a sabog yung team niya and all. But I was looking at the face of Bongo and the rest. Parang shell shocked sila, no? Sonny, parang I think they were really
Yeah.
surprised Oh wow, he's in Villamor. Oh, I cannot even get the like I never saw yung ganyan yung mukha ni Bongo na parang wait, what? Parang ganon yung mukha. What?
Okay, ito yung mga assumptions nila. They thought that they could have access. Hindi nila ini-imagine na ang airport being a public utility what's this, structure, pwede yan i-control for national security purposes yung access. Dinina yung access nila, kinancel yung access nila. They can't demand entry. Wala yung papakita mo yung badge mo, senador ka or si VP Sara, VP siya. No, you cannot enter because this has been kumaga naging security zone siya. So nobody can enter. Hindi nila napasok na factor in yan doon sa picture nila. They thought they could argue their way sa Supreme Court by time, TRO, ganon-ganon. Marami silang hindi nila alam yung short walk from the airplane to the past immigration was talagang actually an eternity, no? Hindi nila nakita 'yon.
So
Pero yun na nga, oh, yes.
so there is a credence to the Colombo theory after all. I mean, this is what happens
Yeah.
when you rely on the whims of one man, not necessarily in his best shape, di ba? In the end, it caught up with them. To what degree should we also give credit to, again, I know there were many other people behind the scenes doing their job. I don't want to also overdo it. But in fairness, General Torre was still front and center. I think he took some punches literally, no? From Hanilet and all.
Yeah.
Like literally, right?
And ito, I think what is commendable to the PNP and how they handled it. Siyempre, credit to General Marbil and General Torre. Sila nag-execute nito and inano nila, inobserve nila yung due process and nirespeto nila yung human rights ni Duterte. Binigyan nila ng respeto. They handled it with care and they were transparent. Naka-body cam sila. Talagang binibidyohan nila all the way parang pakita na he was treated well. Yun yung maganda rito kasi part of that, very symbolic kasi in a way redemption ito for the PNP. Kasi di ba giniba ni Duterte yung imahe ng PNP na parang naging part of the killing machine. Kahit na
Is it
maliit
a
lang naman
personal
yung
militia? It
segment
looked
ng
like a personal militia. I mean, like,
yes, oh. So, ano to? Pero although mga 5 to 10% lang naman yung mga tiwali dyan, pero nadama yung buong PNP as an institution. Pero ito na ngayon, it's a redemption to them. And yun na nga, maganda talaga yung kaya nobody could question it na parang inano siya, minanhandle na old man. Hindi. Kaya yun na lang yung pinapakita nila na nakahiga siya sa couch, na may oxygen na hindi naman nakadikit daw sa tank. Yung mga suddenly appeal to pity. And ultimately, ang pinakang ano dito is the strongman image. Ito yung siya yung symbol of strength of the whole Duterte base, Duterte camp, and yung the source of funds nila. Kasi siya yung nagsa-sign off na bigyan mo to,
right. Siya
release
yung
to.
administrator pa ni
Oh.
Kibuloy, di ba? Yung KOGC, compound.
Mm. So ngayon, wala na. Ang hirap niyan. Ang hirap niyan pag doon, it's not like nasa custodial center ka lang sa Camp Crame na accessible ka, pupunta ka lang doon. Ito, nasa Hague ka eh. May time lag dyan. Tapos yung visiting hours dyan, very strict. Tapos, syempre, you cannot talk about anything foolish there habang nandoon ka. So marami ng maka-cut off na siya. And ito no, he will not be heard from here on. Importante 'yun doon sa kanyang slate. 'Di ba? What about the orphans na sila ngayon? Kasi Sara, they can't rely on Sara campaigning for them. In the first place, Sara hates some of them or
I want
most
to
of
ask you on
them.
this, Sonny. Sorry for cutting you. Yeah, so now I think it raises a couple of important questions, right? So it looks like
Mm.
Duterte will spend the rest of his days either in trial, kasi minimum daw 2 to 3 years, and usually 7, 8 years. Like, I'm not sure. Mukhang malabo na in the pre-trial chambers and examination. He'll get the reprieve, di ba? I'm sure he'll apply for temporary liberty, yung pabalik siya, mataas yung flight risk niya. So malabo yan. So with that situation, who is the next in charge right now? Because it looks like Bongo and Sara once again are jockeying or jostling for that position, right? At hindi klaro yung line of succession now. Who's going to be holding the line for the essentially the camp, right?
On its face, kumbaga on paper, dapat si Sara Duterte. Kasi si Sara Duterte has practically zero leadership skills. Kasi she's whimsical, she's temperamental, di ba? Kumbaga, ano to, mercurial ang personality niya, and she hates um, unsolicited advice. Kumbaga, ano niya she's bad at relationships with the other people. So, tapos ngayon nandoon siya sa tatay niya. Um, Physically wala. Then another unreliable is si Pulong. Kumbaga, in the first place, kaya si Sara ang ginawang mayor even though she's younger than Pulong, kasi yun nga may character flaws, bigger or more character flaws than Sara. So ngayon, ito naman si Bongo, ang problema kay Bongo, he doesn't really command respect kasi ang strength niya emanates from Duterte. So without Duterte,
Derivative yung authority niya.
papa,
Derivative authority, yes.
yes, oh. Kumbaga ano lang siya she's just an alter ego. Pero wala na Wala na yung principal niya. And ito ngayon, ang ultimately, whoever would foot the bill, siya yung in charge. Is he ready to foot the bill? Ngayon, isa ring ano yan, may kakulangan din sa leadership skills yan kasi hindi naman siya, he was never, he never led anything. He was just given instructions to pass on to people. He's just parang, ano ba to? Siya yung gatekeeper, ika nga. Yun lang ang naging
Yeah,
role niya.
yun nga yung exactly. More of a gatekeeper but not necessarily heir apparent, right? So, may
Yeah.
battle of succession ang mangyari ngayon. So, Sara Duterte has now flown. She's now in Den Haag. Per the news I saw kanina, among others, so confirm na yan. Does that make Sara Duterte more vulnerable, or does that give Sara Duterte some sort of a chance to rally support and all? Daughter is
Definitely
there
more.
to be with the father, blah, blah, blah. Yan, the whole drama, ganun.
Okay, ito yung effect nung arrest sa general public, titignan pa na natin yan. Let's say 2 weeks from now, doon natin makikita. Then we conduct a survey, makikita natin. Kasi yung mga initial expressions of outrage, compared to EDSA Tres when President Estrada was arrested, grabe yun. Ang expression ng outrage noon talagang sobra. Daan-daan libo ang nag-mass up sa EDSA in disgust. Ito mga pockets, no? There are pockets of rallies sa iba't ibang areas sa Mindanao. Pero sabi ko nga, hindi natin pwede ma-underestimate ito. Kasi in this day and age, things can just snowball Kaya kailangan vigilant din yung Marcos administration. They're just fortunate na hindi Luzon or hindi Metro Manila ang baluarte ni Duterte. Kung yung baluarte niya, yung Davao City is nasa Metro Manila, ibang usapan ito. Pero ando doon kaya yun yung ano sa kanila, lucky break nila. But it doesn't mean that they can rest on their laurels. They would have to keep on fighting it out dun sa communications airspace. Ano to? Battle for narratives na to. Pagandahan ng narratives. Itong one hand, yung technicalities nilalabas sila, kawawa, kinidnap, ganyan, sovereignty, etc. Itong the other, kailangan ilalabas nila Una-una that the arrest was proper and it was well deserved. Pakita nila yung mga krimen ni Duterte, pakita nila, i-review nila yung mga public speeches ni Duterte na minumura niya yung mga mahihirap, minura niya yung Diyos, minura niya si Pope. Kumbaga, i-revive nila ito so that the people will relive that those dark years na tipong they were living in fear na ganito pala to, di ba? So,
Pero
yan.
wag na
Ha?
tayong dalawa. I think I've seen enough of Duterte, to be honest.
Oh.
Nung umalis na siya, parang sabi ko, officially Duterte, tapos parang may tornado typhoon is out of Philippine area of responsibility. Parang ganun yung pinost ko. Like, biglang palakpakan lahat. Sabi, grabe talaga mga tao. Ang dami daw umiyak nung
Oh.
firm na talagang dumiretso na. I don't know, son, if you saw you saw the meme na andun yung picture ni Camille Villar na have a safe trip po. Diba? Alam mo yung meme na yan, diba? Kasi every time may
Yeah.
DPWH project ng Duterte admin goes wrong like Isabela. Sabi niya, kaya pala may ganun si Camille. Ang sama talaga ng mga tao. But I was worried, baka
No.
may interdict pa yan, baka
Eh,
may mag-suicide pa.
Naka-mute ka, Richard.
Kanina I was worried, baka mag-suicide.
Naka-mute ka.
Oh, now can you hear me? Can you hear me
Ah,
now?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, yeah. Actually, maraming challenges, no? Maraming challenges. From what I heard, nag-attempt pa silang mag-seek ng asylum sa Dubai during that layover doon. So gusto nilang they wanted to look for a way to na bumaba kasi yung mga airspace clearances doon from Dubai to the Netherlands meron pang one or two na hindi pa nakukuha. And ang sabi mga several hours to a day pa ang labas. So ngayon
Whoa.
nakita
Yeah.
nila and so nag-attempt sila. They actually attempted. Buti na lang magagaling din yung mga crisis managers doon sa ano overseeing itong na to.
So,
Kaya hindi no let up until
grabe,
the
no?
last minute.
Parang Netflix talaga to. Netflix, no? Every talagang grabe. Parang pwede may GoPro
Yeah.
yan. No, I want to ask about this kasi,
Parang reverse no Argo, ganun.
yeah, exactly, grabe. I mean,
Parang reverse no Argo.
I know, grabe,
Oh.
grabe. Reverse, parang, in this case, you're getting the bad guys out. Sabi nga ng di
Wow.
ba, it's so crazy, it might work. Di ba, yun yung sinabi nila. The plan
Yeah.
is so crazy, it might work. Ito, it's so crazy.
Yeah. This
Came
might
back.
work.
It was crazy.
Mm.
It came back. Yun ang,
Hollywood.
yun ang ibang argon na yan.
Mm.
I'll make a joke out of that soon. But, Sunny, before we go to the victims, which is the real issue, because you were a part of the communications that was filed, I want to discuss slightly Matabato, Las Canas, lahat ng mga tao na tumulong for this moment to happen. Can I slightly talk about the broader geopolitical implications? Because ako immediately, practically in all my international interviews, sinasabi ko, eto na lang sigurong big catch ng ICC for the foreseeable future, if not their biggest catch ever, right? Malabo yung Afghanistan, nasa kuweba yung mga yan. Malabo si Putin, he's in Kremlin, and malabo si Netanyahu because Trump will support him and well, Israel is Israel. And Hamas, whatever. Hindi mo mahanap mga yan. So this is basically their only chance to get a big profile guy. And although he's not the first Asian to get the warrant of arrest, because Afghans are technically Asians too, but he'll be the first Asian to be tried and most likely convicted, right? If things go as they are supposed to go. How big is this for ICC and the rules-based international order? And were you surprised that US, parang wala pang statement ng US, kasi syempre yung US anti-ICC ngayon because of Netanyahu, di ba? Pero parang, kasi, Sonny, I'll tell you what, it was so funny. We were all watching what will China say, pero lahat ng mga DDS tinatag si POTOS. POTOS Donald Trump, JD Vance, Elon Musk, save Duterte from globalist ICC, BBM International. I don't know if you saw that. They were asking help from Trump. Nagfeeling Netanyahu sila. I mean, how important is that part of the crisis management to make sure US at the very least just doesn't say anything, considering kalaban ng US ang ICC ngayon?
Okay, unang-una yung sa ICC. I think this is the perfect time for them to have hindi lang yung warrant kundi an actual arrest na ito na kumbaga you'll earn your keep. Kasi si Duterte is the poster boy of a tyrant committing or who committed crimes against humanity. He is basically the reason why ICC was created. Ito yon, siya yon. Siya yung epitome ng isang war criminal na
Warlord.
na
Warlord.
nag-oppress or warlord. So yan yon. This is good for them. Kaya they are determined to see this through. Ngayon, maganda rin kasi talagang manu-neutralize yung political uh, projections sa kanila about yung warrants of arrest kila Putin, sa Netanyahu and others. Parang may political, geopolitical doon aspect. Ito wala. Ito yung talagang neutral from a relatively kumbaga moderate na politically moderate country. Ito na ngayon, 'di ba? Lumabas. So, okay, that's good for them. Ngayon yung sa naman, yung sa side ng US so far. Anyway, I believe it was no, may mga enough signals naman na yung US to begin with na yung opposition nila sa ICC is limited to the
Their ally lang.
Israel case.
Just to their ally friend.
Oo. Oh, just to their allies. So, kung ano yun. And while ally nila yung Pilipinas, alam nila na pro-China si Duterte. Ngayon, um, sinasabi nila, ini-encourage lang namin everyone to do the same. Kaso yung EU, especially now with the split nung transatlantic alliance, ito, parang na-bolster ulit yung standing ng ICC kasi they now have EU solidly and firmly behind them at they want this case. So ito yon. It's going to be a well celebrated case. Now, yung iano ko lang to, no, yung sa
Please.
na-mention mo kanina about yung legalities, di ba?
Sorry, I
Uh,
forgot to ask you. Yun nga like, na hindi siya pinasok to get a warrant of arrest from a regional trial court or whatever. There was a slight debate around it, but moot and court na siya, moot and academic na siya ngayon kasi na siya. But for the sake of argument, Sonny, where do you stand on this? Was that a rendition, extraordinary? Was it outside the box, as Justice Carpio put it in our interview, or was it no? It was just standard operating procedure because he's an international criminal per the red notice, and you just follow. Last time I checked, Putin was not part of ICC, right? Russia is not part of ICC. Afghanistan is not. So I don't just see the argument of, oh, we're no longer a member of ICC, therefore.
Oh, okay. So, those raising the arguments about yung nakalagay kasi doon yung competent judicial authority sa Article 59 or basta't iba't iba yung sinasite nila. Ang ang tanong kasi dito, before they get into that argument, meaning nire-recognize nyo yung jurisdiction ng ICC. Di ba? It's either you recognize the ICC that ICC has jurisdiction while we were a member or not. Pag sinabi mong you don't recognize, don't get into the procedure, di ba? Okay. Now, if you recognize, sabihin, mali yung procedure, dapat dinala siya sa court. Ang nakalagay dun sa Rome Statute is competent judicial authority. Now, early on, I had a conversation with the ICC people. Kilinarify ko yan Ano ba yung competent judicial authority? Ang sinasabi nila, it is up to you. Kayo yung mag-define. In some cases, yung mga na-issue ng warrant nila, it's either the Minister of Justice or any prosecutor. Ganon, sinabi nila. So, dito, ino-automatic na competent judicial authority is automatically a judge. No. According to the ICC, at requirement ng ICC to, therefore sila yung masusunod, hindi yung definition natin. Unang-una, hindi nga defined. Sinasabi lang competent judicial authority. So a prosecutor is a competent judicial authority. Ano to Prosecutor General pa yung nilagay natin dito. Nakalagay doon, inobserve niya, tama ba yung person, yung pinagseserban, di ba? Tapos ano ba, meron bang, is he being tried for the same set of facts dun sa local courts? Wala. Alam ng prosecutor general dapat yan. So, ano ba, proper ba yung arrest na ginawa? Binasahan ba siya ng Miranda rights, etc.? Yun lang eh. Ando doon eh. So, na-affirm yun, na-complete yung, marami lang kasi syempre, self-serving yung mga maka-Duterte na tipong kailangan court ito, local courts. The Rome Statute never said local courts. Sinabi nila competent judicial authority, and according to the ICC, when asked, it could mean the Minister of Justice or any prosecutor. So tapos ang debate, di ba? So yun na yun. Tapos meron doon nakalagay, he should be examined by a ano no, by an ICC accredited doctor. So I also clarified that ano ba yung ICC accredited doctor? Ang nakalagay doon, ang sabi na ICC, hindi yun applicable sa atin kasi that's only for member states, yung current member states. So, pwede any doctor. So, kung yung NP doctor, pwede yun. Di ba? So, kumbaga, na-satisfy yung mga requirements nila. Ngayon, yung sinasabing yung point na, is it surrendering yung ating sovereignty? Kasi, bakit natin sinuko yung ating citizen? Ngayon, I refer them to
Kidnap daw.
section.
Sunny, kinidnap daw.
Oh, kinidnap. Oh. Oh, so I refer them to ano, hindi yung mga lawyers kasi sinasabi nila kailangan daw may extradition request from the ICC bago magano. Mali kasi nakalagay dun sa ano nga natin no, Republic Act 9851. Ito yung law that define crimes against humanity, genocide, etc. Section 17 dun sa jurisdiction dun sa second paragraph maliwanag na kung merong akusado na ano to iniimbestigahan ng isang international tribunal, the government authorities may dispense with their own investigation and surrender that person doon sa international tribunal. It's so specific, it's tailored to the T. Kumbaga, wala na magdedebate, and this law was passed back in 2009. The Supreme Court never ruled it as unconstitutional at hindi ito surrender ng sovereignty. In fact, it was an exercise of our sovereignty. We exercised in make ano kay option kay whether to surrender or not. Sinurrender natin kasi we exercised our sovereignty. Kumbaga ganun 'yon. And ano to, palagay ko wala nang ano dito besides smooth and academic na, but ano yan,
Just to clear
I
the air,
think
no? Yeah,
everything was done by the
I have a couple of questions towards the end of our discussion. Just to be clear, si Luis Moreno Ocampo, nakasama ko doon sa isang panel in Inside Story in Al Jazeera kagabi. Siya yung former chief prosecutor ICC who oversaw yung kay Bashir, yung leader ng Sudan, no? Back in the day, he made it very clear the only authority to decide on these questions are the judges on International Criminal Court. No one else. Philippines
IC.
court can do nothing else. He just dished it out like, no, it's over. He's a criminal. He's an international. He should go.
Yun na nga, yung sinasite nila yung Rome Statute, sino mag-interpret niyan? Requirement yan ng ICC. If the ICC is kumbaga tinanggap nila na yung mga yan, therefore tama yung interpretation ng Pilipinas. Kumbaga otherwise he won't be accepted.
Just another question, very important. Best friend mo to, di ba? Si Bato. Ano sabi niya? Hinamon ka niya. Ano? Ano tawag niya? Parang, may term siya eh. Something like,
Oh. Go ahead, make my day.
Make my day. Okay, make my day.
Oh.
Make my day. Sunny Trillanes, make my day. Okay, will you make his day soon? Is he in the second wave soon? Or mag-pilolaksan mo?
Ako nga, sabi ko nga, ano no, it's up to him kung lalabas siya o hindi. Pero from what I heard, konti pa. Malapit nang mabuo pero hindi pa nabubuo. So, pero it's up to him if he will take my word for it. Pero kung may source sa iba, oh, ayan, yan. Oo, sabi niya, go ahead, make my day.
My idea. So
Hmm.
his day will come soon. The right things are coming. Siguro baka gusto
Yeah.
niya check ng Colombo rin niya. Going back to this, nevertheless, at least one service says that Bongo could be even number one or at least top five. Bato still kind of has a chance. How do you see this affecting the elections or should be affecting the elections in terms of battle of narratives? Because as we speak, for the past 27 hours, I've been trolled like crazy. Tinitwist yung words ko na parang inaano ko daw yung Mindanao. And I know, sabi ko, baka ang talagang plano ngayon is, kumbaga, to portray this as if this is not only attack on Duterte, it's attack on all of us from Mindanao and marginalized people. Parang ganun na yung narrative ng DDS ngayon eh. Yung parang Mindanao, rise up, this is parang betrayal of us, parang binastos yung ating the son of Mindanao. Yung ganyan ng narrative eh. Ako may sinabi lang ako na may mga regions sa Mindanao na medyo lower human development index, ganyan. They made a lot, they're in that weaponization mode. Eh. So, should be worried about the kind of, maybe not malawakan na nationwide, but at least in Mindanao and some regions, medyo manggugulo sila ng konti yung mga DDS. Or will it even have wheels or legs?
Ah, ang ano ko nga dito, ang pinaka-gauge ko is yung initial expression of outrage. Ano ba ito? How widespread is it? It's nowhere near the EDSA stress level. Pero it's not necessarily na tipong okay na, relax na tayo, let's be complacent. No, kailangan pa rin i-convince, sabi ko nga, battle of narratives na to, the narratives na kailangan manaig is Duterte is a criminal. He killed thousands of people. Meron sa sariling drug cartel, niloko niya yung mga tao, everything was a lie. Yung tapos marami siyang mga rights na binviolate. Kumbaga, yun dapat ang nananaig na narrative, hindi yung technicality na itong Rome Statute, etc. Kung ano man, ganun eh. Tapos yung nakakaawa, yung images na ganun. Hindi yon eh. So,
Just to be
kumbaga,
clear, sir,
ngayon
Tanya, sorry for cutting you. Yung pray for the old
yeah,
man was for Pope Francis, not for Digong. I don't know if you saw that online, like pray for the old man. That was for
yeah,
Pope
yeah.
Francis, hindi for him. But to be serious
Mm.
about this, actually, we seriously, of course, pray for the Pope Francis. We love Pope Francis, but seriously, also, dito, Sonny, I want to ask you, gaano kahalaga na marinig ng tao nung boses ng mga tunay na biktima? Halos di ko narinig ng boses nila. I'm talking about literally. Nabasa ko yung libro ni Patricia, nabasa ko yung mga interviews sa'yo, nakausap na kita, nakausap ko yung mga abogado. Pero sa totoo lang, sana, even as a journalist, even as someone who's been following this, writing on this, parang kapos na kapos ako pagdating sa coverage. I don't know if you watched that movie in 1985, yung sa Desaparecido sa Argentina, when they interviewed yung mga victims sa public TV and sinabi ng mga babae ni rape sila, sinabi ng lalaki na torture sila, nag-turn yung public opinion eh. Ako sa tingin ko, nakulang talaga kami sa media eh. And even academia would say, in terms of making sure marinig yung boss. Yeah, I mean, Sonny, you are a hero, you did your job. I'm just saying, medyo kulang yata tayo dun eh. Yung boses ng mga totoong victim eh.
Hindi. Ako, I totally agree. I think yun na nga ang pinakang ano dito, ang major reason dito was the shutdown of ABS-CBN. Before, ang flow ng information, TV Patrol yan. Nakikita nila, 85 to 90% of the general public tuned in dyan pag nakakita yan. Kumaga, from the various islands, kuhang-kuha yan. Kaso when ABS-CBN was shut down, naghanap na yung iba. They did not necessarily go to
Other main stations.
GM,
Yeah.
GMA, GMA7. Merong lumipat pero not all. Not all. Kaya nagpuntahan na sa TikTok, sa nabasag na nabasag na. Ngayon, kaya if you want to communicate with them, you have to reach out through various modes. Iba-iba talaga. Maraming nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas na totally clueless na yung iba't ibang areas of the country. totally oblivious sila. Kaya it may take a while even for some Filipinos to hear about the arrest of Duterte. Kasi normally sa atin din sa Metro Manila, if something big that happens like this, ang assumption natin, the man on the street in let's say some island in Visayas, alam din niya yung nalalaman natin. It's not necessarily so. So it's a challenge, it's a communication challenge, pero dapat yung nasa Marcos administration, they should have the resources, the whole propaganda apparatus of government to disseminate information. So dapat nananaig sila dito. Kaya yan dapat ang challenge now. I think with the new PCO secretary, tapos si Yusek Claire Castro, malaking ito. Nagkakaroon na ng content yung mainstream media and social media influencers. So I think that's a good start. Pero yung kabila, talagang well-funded yung kanilang
Nakalatag na
social media
eh.
machine.
Yeah, son, malakas
Oh,
pa rin sila in fairness. I felt the heat again over the past.
malaki. Nag-expand sila.
Malaking
Oh.
budget, malaking budget, no? Mukhang money trail. We have to
Eh,
really go after the money trail.
Yes, pero ito na ngayon. With Duterte, kumaga arrested and detained sa The Hague, who foots the bill now? Di ba? Who foots the bill? So, hopefully makikita natin yan kung slowly dissipate yung mga pro-Duterte influencers in the coming weeks. Ibig sabihin nun, nagsara na yung gripo. So, tingnan natin. Otherwise, somebody else is footing the bill. Tingnan natin kung sinong pilantropo yan sa
From
kanilang
other
side.
country.
Oh. But ano pa rin yan? Kumbaga,
Yeah.
hanggang kailan yon? Hanggang kailan? So, we will see. Ngayon, tignan natin yung effect. Ano ba itong arrest na to? Is this a game changer for the Duterte camp? Will it favor them? So, kumbaga, ano muna tayo dyan? The verdict is still out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Ngayon, kukunin natin. Oh.
Yeah.
Anuhin muna natin. Siguro mag-percolate yan within 2 weeks. Tapos mag-snapshot tayo, makikita natin kung ano yung impact.
Yeah. Sonny, I was thinking, yun nga, siguro isang dahilan na marami sa mga biktima or mga pamilya ng mga biktima hindi nagsalita or hindi sila lumalapit sa media or lumalayo dati is because natatakot sila, di ba? Baka may JK pa sila, baka balikan pa sila ng pulis. Pero ngayon, meron ka ng you have the right authorities there. You have CIDG Chief Torre, who's very, very clear na I really hate niya yung mga EJK, yung mga ganyan. You follow the letter of the law, the spirit of the law. Do you think there should be a coordinated effort whereby journalists, content creators like myself, for instance, we can go and interview these people with the protection of police para hindi rin natatakot yung mga biktima or something like that? Or at least with assurance na there will be no undue interference by people who could be implicated. Kasi naturally, the next step would be dapat may investigation of other police officials, yung mga scalawags na involved din sa mga EJKs.
Yes, for sure. Dapat no let up yung pag-pursue ng mga iba't ibang mga perpetrators sa hindi covered ng ICC. Pwede silang ikasuhan do sa 9851. Lahat ito pwedeng gawin. Tapos at the same time yung information war. Kasi nga habang hindi pa natin na-determine, sabi ko nga the jury is still out, di pa natin alam ano pa yung ultimate verdict by sabi ko mga ganyan normally magpe-percolate yan 2 weeks. Tignan natin
Really
kung meron bang yung trajectory niya, kung sumirit sila, okay, maganda sila yung nanalo at least temporarily, short term. So kailangan mo ng lalong pang dumiin. Pero kung bumaba sila because of this, na tipong at some point kasi the reality will set in na hindi na siya makakabalik. So the sooner mangyari
right.
yan, the sooner people will move on. They will move on to through life. At pero syempre yung mga loyalists, yung mga fanatics, doon pa rin sila pero mananaro na yung base nila.
It will be a small minority, maybe strong in Davao and some parts of Mindanao for understandable reasons, but more or less that. So contained basically. Last point, naka-pink naman ako for a reason na. Eto na, Sunny, magpakabait na tayo. Si Lloyda Lewis, I mean, first of all, happy Women's Month, and I think it's great that three judges who released this warrant of arrest were all women, one from Benin, one was from Mexico, and one from Romania. So basically, post-colonial or post-Soviet lahat. So this is not your white man's court, literally and figuratively, right? But speaking of this, Sonny, what do you think about opposition? Akbayan was very clear. Persa Sendanya, Risa were very clear. All of them have been supporting you through and through. Um, do we think that the rest of the team maybe should step up and hindi na mag both sides, wala nang mga both sidism. Let's listen to both sides. I think we should listen to the side of the victim and make sure that the ICC gets the job done. Dapat ganun yung linya, right? Kung totoo kang opposition. I think we should just call it for what it is, right?
Yes, and I think it behooves each of them to have a definitive statement on this one. This is a historic moment. Ano ba? Ano ba ito? Hindi naman pwedeng parang as if this didn't happen. Di ba? Ano ba? Ano bang sentimiento nyo talaga? Siyempre, di ba? Tignan natin. Pero at this point in time, there are no assumptions. We cannot make assumptions. Kasi I don't know if you're quiet na ganito kaingay, everybody, alam niyo may nagse-celebrate Nagpa-private celebration yung mga groups of people just because na nakulong si Duterte. Ganun ka ano to, ganun yung feeling. Doon naman sa Mindanao, nagluluksa naman sila, talagang they felt feel really bad, nagiiyakan. So this itong mga political leaders, saan tayo, di ba? Pero yun na, siguro talagang the realities of campaign politics mas nangingibabaw, it's up to them. Okay na ba yan? Medyo behave na sagot na ba yun?
I think I was okay. So, just to have an electoral thing, Sonny, paano yan? You are in the middle of a race pa rin, but at the same time, you are also the hero of the moment. I'll give it to you. Actually, mami ko nag-comment siya, parang ang gwapo nila Sanya at saka niya, yung picture niyang dalawa. Was that an Armani suit? I don't know. I don't know. I cannot not notice. Parang ganda ng suit niya, yung blue navy. Sino bang tailor niyo? Pakitext sa akin mamaya. You look amazing. You look amazing. God bless you. Dalawa kayo ng beshi niyo. Obviously, you feel special about it. Again, I understand Caloocan is a different race and all, but since last month we talked, Sonny, how is the race going and how are you feeling about this race? Balita ko kay Nograles medyo nag-tighten na sa Davao. I don't know if I can trust some of the surveys, but especially now, suddenly the vice mayor race is also important, no? What do you think? What is your sense of the Caloocan race and its implication?
Okay, ikwento ko lang Richard. With the arrest of Duterte, Carlo Nograles can actually file for a disqualification case against Duterte. And ano yan, kasi for very valid reasons, hindi na siya makaka-serve. So, made-deprive din yung yung taga Davao ng mayor. So, pagka tinanggal siya sa balota, you have Carlo Nograles as the new mayor. Otherwise, kung hindi siya ma-disqualify and for some miracle na nagkaroon ng outpouring of sympathy, manalo pa rin siya kahit wala siya dito physically, then magkakaroon ng vacancy sa mayor. The vice mayor now will assume, and that is Baste. So I think Carlo Nograles should file that disqualification case. Now, anyway, doon naman sa Caloocan, alam nyo, maraming maka-Duterte sa Caloocan. In fact, yung mga leaders namin on the ground, talagang nag-iyakan din sila. Pero ano sila, they're still for me kasi alam nilang iba yung situation nila. Ito yung gut issues. These are the day-to-day problems, day-to-day environment that they're living through. So it matters to them. it matters sa kanila yung kanilang political idol and everything, pero they can dichotomize yung dalawang mundo na yan. So anyway, ang situation doon is yun nga, based doon sa last survey namin, nagta-tighten na. I was 45% nung last survey, and yung incumbent mayor is 52. Though may tatlong undecided. So, and I came from 8% last year. So, I think that's a
Big
good
jump, yeah.
upward trajectory.
Trajectory, yeah.
So, ano yan? Pero sige lang. Kayod lang. And wala pa naman tayo sa campaign period.
Yeah.
And if the campaign period tabla ng laban, I think medyo maganda.
Wala bang option pwede isama mo yung kalaban mo sa ICC? No, I'm just kidding. No, but 'di ba marami rin mga EJK nangyari diyan sa Caloocan, 'di ba? 'Di ba kaibigan
Oh,
ni
yes.
Pulong si ano,
The
yung ano
biggest.
mo, yung Pulong, si Pulong,
No.
kaibigan niya yung ano mo, 'di ba? Maybe baka naman
Mm.
may wave 3 ng ICC, 'di ba? I'm just saying, wala akong
Yeah.
in-imply. I mean, I'm always saying, Sonny, after coup d'etat, that's your another option, just in case. But kidding aside, I'm sure, Sonny, no matter what happens, you are going to be at the center of Philippine politics in the best way possible, including at the center of Twitter wars, along with yours truly. I'm glad to be parang Batman Superman tayo talaga eh. Toxic masculinity daw tayo. Grabe naman mga tao. Happy Women's Month, and sabi ko nga, Sunny, this is a safe space for you and Ronald to vent it out. Pero I'm glad na mabait ka. I think it's good moment to be mabait. Just before we close this, anong mensahe mo sa ating mga kababayan? Because not long ago, may mga nagsabi na nawawala na silang pag-asa sa bansa natin, nadidepress na ibang I think even Lloyda Lewis, I mean, with all her support and love for the country, at some point umamin yata siya dun sa isang interview na pati siya parang nawawalan na siya ng pag-asa. I understand her kasi may US din siyang side, di ba? Na parang Trump and all. I'm sure she meant it in a sense of just a temporary despair. I know her heart is in the right place. But anong mensahe mo sa mga taong iyon? May pag-asa pa ba ang Pilipinas? And what should we do to make sure we get the best out of our democratic space right now and this historic moment sa ICC?
Okay, they have to keep the faith, kasi nakita nyo naman in moments of despair, may mga ganitong bright lights, di ba? And these are just manifestations na ano pa naman, kumbaga talagang in this age-old battle between good versus evil, talagang nananalo yung good eh. So at some point may mga rectifications yan, may mga healing moments yan. It may not come as soon as you want it, pero it eventually always will, no? So kailangan lang natin kapit lang, and things will go our way at some point in the future. Ganon yan kasi I some people ask me saan ko kinukuha yung optimism na yan. Sabi ko, nakulong ako ng 7.5 years. You'll have to keep on hoping that one day you'll get out, and eventually it did. Diba? It came. So, gano'n lang yan.
7 na yan. 7 years yung hinintay natin tong ICC, 7 years sa'yo, 7 years si De Lima. Of course, yung favorite player natin si Cristiano Ronaldo, number 7. I mean, I know it sounds so insensitive, but there's something with this number 7, right? Like there's something decisive that happens every 7 years or something like that. Maybe I'm just being too numerologist or something about this. Mabuhay ka, Senator Sonny Trillanes. We love you. We support you. We really thank you. And sabi ko nga, whatever you want to say about BBM, whether it's indecisive or sabog yung press conference, at least magpasalamat tayo na may dalawang letter T. General Torre and Senator Trillanes. You two are giving us a lot of hope, and you two are among our favorites. Every time you're here, there's so much excitement about it. Mabuhay ka, Senator Trillanes. Magpahinga ka. And looking forward to catching up also in person for more Marites in person. I'm sure nagpakabait ka eh. I'm sure marami kang gustong sabihin na hindi mo. Let's just talk in person. God bless po. Talk to you soon, sir.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
God bless po.